The PPVC approach was designed with a very specific purpose of informing policy decisions and investment choices within agriculture value chains. And therefore we have two approaches with two sets of analytics and tools, but they're working together. We call it the handshake. So there's a handshake between a business case and a development case. And in 2016, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation invested in these tools to bring them together and what ended up to be the PPVC approach. And the second phase of this investment, also by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is into ANAPRI, the African Network of Agriculture Policy Research Institutes. The one is looking at capacity building and training of research fellows within the local centers, in other words, local capacity building within African centers. And the second activity looks at the rollout of PPVC in more countries in Africa.
The Gates Foundation has been investing in PPVC since about 2016, 2017, thereabouts. And this work supports our objectives in the agricultural development space in a number of different ways. Number one, it helps governments access the data, the analytics, the evidence with which to make good decisions around which value chains to prioritise, which policy interventions to prioritise, and which public investments to invest in support of this big vision that the Gates Foundation has around inclusive agricultural transformation.
So the PPVC helps in two key ways. The first is the capacity building component. So we've been training a lot of researchers, young researchers, in different skills that are going to empower them to be able to respond to government requests. So that's the first way that we are helping our centers. The second is through the actual experience of implementing those skills, through the implementation of the framework itself. So the in-field implementation and application of the tools. But I think the more important part is we want to create demand from government for these tools. So through showing value of those skills and showing how those skills contribute to informed decision making, the hope is that governments will be able to pay for the services that PPVC offers in terms of contributing to information, analysis, data and evidence.
This goes deeper than the value chain analysis that I am used to or what I've been taught. So the added benefit was in value chain analysis, you go deep, but this you go much deeper. So for me, that was the extra I was getting, which I can then use in other value chains and make a much better impact.
The experience has been fantastic. There's a network of analysts, a network of modelers of different value chains, different experts. And what is most interesting about this PPVC is that it brings different strands of the analytical pieces into one to actually come up with very relevant recommendations and put simply for our government and stakeholders within the various PPVC countries to implement. So these are actually implementable recommendations.
I'm actually an industrial engineer, not an agricultural economist like most people here, and that's very fascinating for me, just this multidisciplinary approach to bring in the engineering background where we look at a lot of financial analysis, especially a lot of supply chains, and then every time trying to optimize and get efficiency gains. And for me, that's just fascinating within this value chain analysis approach, because you want to uplift this entire value chain and bring it to its optimum, what every industrial engineer loves to do. And we do that through different volume scenarios that we run, different profitability price scenarios, just getting the optimum efficiency and effectiveness of the value chain.
You know, given that the training has just come to an end, we have to manage expectations in that they need to take baby steps in terms of the work that they are going to do. First and foremost is to understand the market that they are analyzing and engage with the policymakers as well as the investment, the private sector for investment to flow through. bring in those analytics that connects government policy with private sector investment so that the impact can be on both as well as the people that are being served by PPVC approaches.